I'm going to actually do the demonstration in Photoshop, but the process is exactly the same in Photopea. Where things are on the menus and what we're doing is exactly the same. So what we're gonna be taking what we know about selections and combining that with what we've just learned about applying different color effects. So I'm looking at my selection tools up here. This is the Move tool. It looks, again, a little bit different in Photoshop than Photopea, but it's the Move tool. Rectangular marquee tool right here. Underneath we've got our polygonal lasso, magnetic lasso tools. Underneath that we've got the object select, quick select, and magic wand tool. These aren't going to work so well for what we're trying to do here today. Really the best tools that we have to use are the polygonal lasso tool probably, and the pen tool as well for making selections, and I'll demonstrate both of those here. I'm going to start with the polygonal lasso tool. If you're going to be using this, try to make a lot of points, lots of clicks around the area that you're selecting so that it looks as smooth as possible. If you don't, it's going to have a really jagged kind of cutout edge to it. So this is probably the easiest tool to use for this, but the pen tool I think is even better, but you have to be comfortable enough using the pen tool. All right, so I'm going to take the polygonal lasso tool and I'm just going to click, like I said, lots of little clicks around the outside. I'm trying to select his coat. So I'm working my way around the coat here. And then I go back to where I started and it creates the selection area, and then I'm going to go up to layer on the menu bar. I'm going to go to new and then new layer via copy. It's exactly the same in Photopea there. I might even go and name this coat just so that I have it, and if I hid the other one you can see the new layer that I made from the coat. All right, if I want to change the color of the coat here, I could go up to Image, Adjustments, Hue Saturation, and then there's this button right here, Colorize. I'm going to click on Colorize. Sometimes it looks like black and white in the beginning. Sometimes it'll look like that. But if you push up the saturation and then you can play with the hue, you can change the color of it. All right, so we'll go with green on that one. Say OK. And now the next kind of selection I'm going to make is I've got to go back to my original layer, and I'm going to use the pen tool to make the selection here. So I'm going to select the pen tool, and I can start down in this area because the coat is actually going to be above. And I click, go around, draw my handles. Drag the handles out. If I hold Alt or Option, it will move handles in. I can always go back later too and fix any curves with the direct selection tool, which I'll just point that out, though this is looking okay right now. So and then I close that shape. Now again, if you need to make any changes to anything, you've got your direct selection tool right down here where you can click on vector points and move things out or adjust handles. Just select I can move things around if I need to, but I think things are good. So with the pen tool up at the top, I'm going to make sure that this is set to path, not shape. Again, Photopea has the same option right up at the top here where you can set it to path or shape, and then make a selection. And I'm going to say OK. So it's going to make my selection area. I'm set here. I'm making the selection area from this layer. And I'm going to go to Layer, New Layer via Copy. So now you can see I've got that part. Okay, and then the coat going over top of it. And then this is the photo that's underneath. So I'm going to take this layer and I'll call this Head. And then I would go to Image, adjustments, hue, saturation, colorize it if I want, or I can even just go with saturation, or I'm sorry, hue, play with the hue. And then I would say OK, although colorize is an option if I wanted to do that too. And leave that how it is. And now the background, I could change this. Different ways I could do this. Probably the easiest thing is just to add a layer, a new layer in here. I can call this background color. And then to make a selection with the rectangle select tool and go down to the lower right here. And then with that area selected, I'm going to go Edit, Fill. And it could fill with the foreground color, which is down here on the menu bar, or you can choose your own color. I'm going to go with an orange, and then OK. So it fills that in there. And so this is just a color layer. Deselect, Command D. It's just a color layer that's in there. Okay, so you can see that I've made some different selections. Now I'm going to apply some of the other effects to it. So I'm going to take the head and I'm going to go Image Adjustments, and I went to Posterize. I'm going to go ahead and leave that at 4 levels, and I'll do the same to the coat. Image Adjustments, I went to Posterize. Now this is something I've been using for a couple of them, but like I said, you can use your own effects here and see what kind of results that you get from it. You could try other filters, so it's really your choice. But with this one, I wanted to actually create that dotted look to it that makes it look like it's out of the comics or something. So I'm going to take the head and I'm actually going to duplicate this layer. So new layer via copy. And then if I take this layer, I'm going to go to Filter and then Pixelate. I'm going to go to Color Halftone. And let me just see. Let me try. This is a little bit of a different look to it than in Photopea. But in Photopea, you can just slide it up what you want for the halftone look to it. I put in a value of 25. So like I said, Photopea, it's in the same place, but the menu will look a little bit different. If I go to Pixelate, Color Halftone, Photopea will have a thing that you just slide up. In this case, I just chose the number of pixels for 25. Well, actually, I want to Command Z. I wanted to duplicate that layer too. So Layer, duplicate the layer. Okay, and then I'm going to apply the halftone to that. I'll say OK. And then, all right, so what this is like I can hide that. These are actually layers that are sitting on top of the other layers there. So if there's a layer there and there's a layer not there. Get rid of that, show that one, show that one. Okay, so they're just stacked on top of each other. Now I could play with, once you have stacked layers, then you can play with the blending modes. So I'm going to start off here at normal, then I'm going to take it down through, that's darken, multiply, color burn, linear burn. Let's start to get some interesting looks to it. And I actually like quite a few of these, but I got to pick one. These maybe not so much. Well, that's kind of interesting. Actually, I think I'm going to go with this one, this darker color. I think I'm going to keep that. And then on this one, I'm going to do the same thing, darker color. And if I want to combine all these together into one layer, I can select everything and then go to Layer and then merge my layers. Or I might decide maybe with this one, maybe I want to play with this one a little bit and see what happens think I'd like that orange, but I want the orange to be a little less. So I'm just testing out. Oh, that's pretty cool. I kind of like that. Let's divide. Like sometimes you never know what you're going to get sometimes when you play around with different layers. I can adjust the opacity as well if I like. But I really like how that looks. So I'm going to take all of these layers now and I'm going to merge them together. So I go layer, merge the layers. Okay, and now I have one of my, oh, it got rid of the one effect that I wanted. Try to merge this. Oh, because I need the other one. I need all of it. I take all that together and then layer and merge the layers. There we go. Now I've got it. So I'm going to resize it, go to my move tool, and now I have one of my 4 squares that I could use. And that's it.